The following sermon is an edited version of an article that a man named Andy Stanley wrote for Fox News. I hope Andy's not offended by me using his article. He makes some good points to describe the confusion that many people have towards the Christianity of today's world, in particular in America, compared to the Christianity that was presented when Jesus and his first disciples walked the earth. Let's hear what Andy has to say. I've talked to dozens of folks who have left the Christian faith. I've yet to hear from anyone who has abandoned Christianity based on anything directly related to Christianity, at least the original version. The decline of Christianity in America, the popularity of the new atheists, and the meteoric rise of the nuns underscore something that has been true for generations, but didn't matter much until now. Many expressions of Christianity are fatally flawed. Many people see Christianity as anti-intellectual, oversimplistic, and easily discredited. For decades, college professors with biases against religion have found Christian freshmen easy targets. American Christianity has tolerated false doctrines that should have been discarded the moment they veered away from the teachings of Jesus. Here are 5 reasons people are really leaving the church. 1. We tell people that the Bible is the basis of Christianity. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. It's a line that many who grew up in the church know by heart, and it reflects a problem in modern American Christianity. Many of us believe that the Bible is the foundation of our religion. People think that the entire Bible is the standard by which we base our faith. It's not. Jesus is. Voice here. I want to interject a brief comment here. While the Bible itself is not where we base our faith, it is important to note that the Bible contains the fundamental building block of our faith, that is, the teachings of Jesus. It's when we veer away from the teachings of Jesus and turn to some other Bible writer as our foundation, that the Bible becomes nothing more than a distraction to what God really wants us to be focusing on. On the flip note, if we start with the foundation of Jesus being the cornerstone, then we open the door to a whole new perspective on the other parts of the Bible that could not be accessed before we made Jesus the cornerstone. Back to Andy. When our faith stands on anything other than Christ, we put ourselves and others in position to fall. Number 2, they believe suffering disproves the existence of God. Renowned New Testament scholar Bart Ehrman says he lost his faith and embraced atheism because of suffering in the world, and he's not the only one. But the foundation of our faith is not a world without suffering. Pain and suffering are essential elements of our faith in God. Our God promised there would be suffering until He makes all things new. Number 3, they had a bad church experience. Most bad church experiences are caused by churches giving their own interpretation of the Bible, rather than letting the Bible speak for itself. Relationships are messy and complicated, but if our actions are rooted in Jesus' command to love one another, John 13:34, then we can prevent many of the experiences that lead people away from His body. Number 4, we're bad at making people feel welcome. Jesus' message had one of 2 effects on people. Either they loved it or they hated it. Jesus didn't leave room for lukewarmness in His fellowship. It tended to be the outcasts of society that accepted Jesus' message because they were more inclined to change compared to those that were content with their religion. Number 5, we made ekklesia, the church, a building. The word church is commonly used to misdirect people from the true meaning of the word. The term church is a derivative of the German term Kirche, meaning house of the Lord or temple. This term of German origin was used to interpret rather than translate the Greek term ekklesia throughout most of the New Testament. The Greek term ekklesia is translated as church over 100 times in your English New Testament, But in Acts chapter 19 verse 32, a passage describing a city in uproar, it's translated differently. Ekklesia was not and is not a religious term. It does not mean church or house of the Lord. It certainly shouldn't be associated with a temple. The term was used widely to describe a gathering, assembly, civic gatherings, or an assembly of soldiers. Or as was the case in Acts chapter 19, an assembly of rioting idol manufacturers. An ekklesia was a gathering of people for a specific purpose, any specific purpose. It's not a building. It's not a physical location. It's a group of people. It's a lot easier to stop showing up at a place than it is to disconnect from a group of people who intimately know, love, and support each other. Voice here. Now, I agree with Andy on this one. The church is not a building that you go to in order to be in church. Rather, the people are the church. A problem arises, however, when we look for the true meaning of what church is supposed to be. Something that Andy failed to mention in his article, and something that all so-called Christian religions refuse to acknowledge, is that living in community with like-minded individuals is what the true church was, and it's what it's supposed to be today. Whether it's in a house, an RV, in the park, on the streets preaching, even under a tree, the church is where people are gathered together to serve God. It's that simple. Back to Andy. If we want people to stop leaving the church, if we want Christianity to be irresistible again to the world, then maybe it's time to take another look at the movement Jesus started 2,000 years ago. Voice here. That's the end of the sermon. Now, as most of you know, I would almost certainly have a problem with his own definition of Christianity and conclude that it is fatally flawed. But he does make some very good points. If only I could get him to question the possibility that those fatal flaws are right there in what he and others are preaching and practicing even now. And the reason for that is that they do not put obedience to the teachings of Jesus as the foundation on which to build their faith. I hope you won't make the same mistake. Thanks for watching.